Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Today, what we're going to cover is setting goals for 2025. How many new patients we need to get each month to hit your target? The three fundamentals for marketing success. How to optimize your website for conversion in 2025 and beyond. The big picture of all the online marketing channels you should be tapping into to maximize your patient flow online. We'll go over the latest trends that you need to focus on in 2025 and developing a custom action plan based on where you are now, where you want to get to, and what you need to start doing now in order to get there. So today there's no fluff, no pitches, and because I respect your time, I'm going to move through these pretty quickly so you're informed and identify the key pieces of your 2025 marketing strategy in as little time as possible. If you stick around to the end, you'll get some access to some free bonuses I put together just for this webinar and will jumpstart your marketing activities that you need to accomplish your goal. So real quick, who am I? Why should you listen to me? My name is Sebastian Mueller. I've been doing digital marketing for more than 20 years. I founded my own marketing agency and switched from helping all kinds of businesses to marketing for chiropractors in February 2017, starting with my own chiropractor. And now we work exclusively with chiropractic offices across the US and Canada. And I believe the world needs better health solutions like chiropractic care. And I've been a numbers person all my life, so combining my web analytics skills with my passion for designing great online experiences and marketing automation, it was a natural fit to help chiropractors elevate the health of your community and your practices. Okay, enough about me. Let's map out your marketing plan for the coming year. Before we get started, take just a moment and answer this question. What's the hardest part about marketing your chiropractic office online? Different docs and offices will have different pieces in place and that they feel good about. So, for wherever you're at right now, what do you feel is the hardest part of marketing online as we step into the new year? Is it challenging to get enough new quality patients booking appointments with you? Or knowing how to attract patients for specialized treatments like decompression or neuropathy? Do you know how to get your share of people in your community that look on Google for a chiropractor? Okay. Hopefully, you have some of your top challenges in mind and also answer why is that so challenging? The answer I hear over and over is that there are so many things you can be doing, it's hard to say what's the best way to invest your marketing budget or what's going to give you the best return on your investment. You've got websites, SEO, Google pay per click, TikTok, Facebook ads, Instagram stories, social media posting, blog articles, video marketing, reviews, and just so many options that it can be overwhelming or unclear where to spend your time and money. That's why I created this slide so you can see the big picture of all your strategies that you need to have in place for complete digital dominance in your market. Seriously, these 8 buckets are all it takes to dominate your local market and get the lion's share of the patients that need your help, if they're well executed, of course. Think of this as like a car wheel or a tire. If you have most, but maybe not all of these in place, then it's like racing the Indy 500 with a flat tire. These categories are pretty much in order of importance too. The big three that will really move the needle are making sure your website's built to convert, your practice shows up in the top 3 maps listings when a person Googles for a chiropractor, and using social media to establish yourself as the local health authority. And having a content strategy, automation, and follow up aren't any less important. They're more like the foundation that connects to each and every one of the other pieces. So those will amplify the results of everything else you do. And this is one of those situations where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So having all of these strategies dialed in will produce more results than if you added up the results you might get from each individual strategy. I'm glad you made the decision to join this webinar so you can make smart decisions about how you're going to grow your practice in the coming year. For the most part, chiropractic offices invest a lot of money in marketing, in websites, in SEO, in Facebook ads, and in person events, which many docs don't even want to be doing. And many of you have gone through multiple marketing providers to try and get more new patient visits. And too often, you don't get much of a return on your investment. Hopefully, you generate some patients from your website and online marketing, but if you aren't attracting enough quality patients that sign on to care, then you may not have much to show for it, and more time has passed without having the growth in your practice that you really want. So that's why it's critical that you make smart decisions in your marketing that are going to grow your practice the way you want and that compound over time. Really, the opportunity at hand and what we're going to do today is getting you a clear plan for 2025 that will end up producing patients today, patients tomorrow, and patients down the road. And you'll need to generate enough leads to hit your goals, whether that be a certain amount of collections, patient visits, whatever you want, however you measure that for yourself. Now, that is going to be one of the few times I'll use the word leads because marketers have ruined this term by focusing on generating leads instead of appointments and patients or collections. And I know that names on a spreadsheet or email don't pay the bills. You can't deposit clicks in the bank. But you also can't maximize your results if you don't measure them. And the number of leads generated is a key part of that equation. To get the best return on your investment, you need to track and optimize how many leads you get, the cost per lead, how many appointments those turn into, and the show rate for those new patients, along with how many sign on to care and the total number of visits and case value per patient. If you double the performance of one of those factors, you can double your practice growth. But if you double two of them, then you quadruple your ROI. And if you move the needle in several areas, then you've basically slapped a turbocharger on your practice growth engine. The ideal here is to maximize your new patient flow so you hit your goals for 2025. So the first step is just getting clear on where you want to end up by next December. Most chiropractors and practice owners know the number of new patients they need every month just to keep pace, but maybe not what it'll take to grow to the level they want to be at in a year. But now is the time to focus on growth. And where is the next level you want to be at? For some, that's opening another office or maybe bringing on another doc, either to increase capacity or free up your time so you can take off Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays each week. Hopefully, you've given these some thought. So take a moment to reflect on what is the outcome you're looking to achieve and how much more in collections or patient visits does that require? And how many new patients is that going to require every month? I know some months are busier or slower than others, so just average that out over 12 months. And now think about how many new patients you typically get every month on average. Make sure to consider recent numbers. And if those last two numbers are the same, then you're already on track to accomplish your goals for 2025. But if that were the case, you probably wouldn't spend your precious time on this webinar. So, regardless of how well you're doing in attracting new patients, you must have some big goals that requires a solid plan and doing new or more things to reach your goals. Otherwise, you're just adrift at sea, and your practice survival relies on the whim of outside forces that can shut down in-person events or at the risk of algorithm changes and page bans that limit your growth. But having clear goals can really put wind in your sails. To illustrate, Harvard conducted a study of graduates, and 84% had no specific goals, but 13% had goals in mind, but they weren't written down. And then 3% actually had clear written goals and a plan on how they were going to achieve them. So the 13% that had goals were earning twice as much as the ones with no goals at all. But the 3% that had clear and written goals were earning 10 times as much as all the others. So hopefully that lights a fire for those of you that haven't clarified your goals yet or shared them with your partners and team. And let me ask you this. Did you hit your goals in 2024? If not, were they written down and communicated to your team? Did you have a plan on how to achieve your goals? Did you take the action required by your plan? If not, we're going to map out that plan in today's webinar. And if you did hit your goals, then kudos to you. And what I'd ask is if what got you there will get you to where you want to be by the end of the coming year. Keep watching because I bet I'll cover at least a strategy or two that are missing from what you're currently doing online. And in all likelihood, how to increase the results of whatever you're already doing. So take a moment and take stock of these or jot them down if you don't have them yet. What's your revenue or collection target for the year? How much will your monthly collections be by the year end? And what will be your number of weekly patient visits? How many new patients will that require each month? What's your average sign on rate? If only 50% of people sign on to care, then you're going to need to book twice as many initial visits to sign the number of new patients you need. So, how many new patients appointments will you need every month? As you start backing your way into your targets, you'll want to know the answers to these questions. I don't expect you to know all of these off the top of your head. In fact, most chiropractors or office managers I speak to don't regularly monitor these. And you can't improve what you don't measure. And you certainly can't steer your ship if you can't see where you're at or if you've veered off course. So make a note to look into these numbers or have your team provide them to you. Otherwise, you won't really know what it's going to take to get you where you want to be. What you want to identify is how many more new patient day ones do you need on a monthly basis compared to what you already get to achieve your 2025 goals and outcomes. I hope you're able to get a handle on how many more leads you need to start getting every month to accomplish your goals in 2025. If not, then at least how many new patients you need walking in your office each month, along with how many new patients you're short based on your current marketing efforts. Now that we have your goals and a clear idea of where you want to get to, it's time to look at how to get there with your marketing. The fundamentals for your online marketing are your message, what you say or write, your market, who you say it to, and your media, how you deliver your message or where that gets seen. Okay, so the second thing to do is getting the right message in front of the right people. It really starts with knowing who you're speaking to. This is a chance to refresh yourself on who exactly you're trying to attract into your office. And remember this, if you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. For example, if your ideal patient is a busy professional woman in her 40s who's married with 2 kids, she's going to have very different desires and concerns and frustrations than, say, a college kid who was in an accident. Or for that matter, a man in his 50s who may be struggling with arthritis or a degenerative disc disease. Of course, you can help every one of them, but their needs and wants are much different. And physical or health conditions are going to affect their lives in very different ways. In your messaging, you want to speak to them in the way that matters to them. And remember, when they find you online, whether it be on Facebook or your website or wherever, your message helps them understand if you can help them and survive and thrive. And if they can't immediately see that, they'll quickly move on. So effective marketing is all about putting the right message in front of the right person. So who is your ideal patient avatar? Are they a homeowner? Are they active in sports? How old are they? Do they have kids or grandkids? I mean, really, get a good picture of who that is. I know you can help everyone or most folks out there, but right now you want to focus on your ideal patient so you can craft a message that resonates with them. Then down the road, you can develop different messages for other groups of people out there. And what are their fears? What are their desires? These are what's going on in their minds before they think about reaching out to you or even before considering chiropractic for their needs and goals. Remember to make it clear that you can help that person survive and thrive. If not, you'll end up confusing and losing that person as a patient. And remember to make your message about them, not you. Focus on the people and the conditions you can help much more than you talk about yourself, how you help, or how long you've been doing it. Those things matter, but at first, the person doesn't care. They just care if you can help them and their problem. After that, then they're open to knowing your history. Always put your patient and their concerns front and center in your message. Think about what messaging will resonate with your ideal patient. If they have chronic or severe conditions, that message might be that they can be helped without surgery or drugs. So these are just some examples of addressing some desires or fears. So that's why it's important to spend time understanding the mindset of the patient you want to attract into your office. So what's your message? Why should someone see you instead of another office or a different type of care? For example, if you have a decompression table, most people don't even know what that is. Help them learn how you offer a solution for herniated discs without invasive or costly surgery or the lengthy downtime and rehab that comes with surgery. So figure out what's your message. Now we can take a look at media and exactly how to deliver that message. One of the most important things is to make sure your hub converts. So first and foremost, your website is the hub. I would actually lump your Google business listing in there because Google looks at both your website and your Google business profile when it decides how close to the top to show either your website or your maps listing. And the maps listing is much more prominent and shows your rating, phone number, if you're open or not. So your Google listing in that Maps 3-pack is going to drive more calls and people to your website than your ranking in the regular search results, the ones that appear way down the page. But Your website SEO has a factor in the ranking of your maps listing because Google has what's called a blended algorithm. So that's why these two are so intertwined and critical for when people search for you by name or are just searching for a chiropractor. And how well is your website set up for conversion? Does it have real photos of the doc and staff? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Show them who you are by putting photos of you and your team instead of stock photos. Does it speak to your target avatar? Does it address their fears and frustrations and speak to why they should choose you? Have a short welcome video introducing yourself and what they can expect should they come to you. And make it obvious you can help them. In other words, instead of talking about subluxations and what services you offer, make it clear what conditions you treat. Create a page that lists the various conditions they can get help with at your office. Make it about them, not you. That may sound counterintuitive, but they care about themselves more than they care about you. They care whether you can help them survive and thrive. So make it clear who you can help, because I guarantee when they come to your website, they're trying to figure out if you can help them. And if it's not clear, they aren't going to work hard to find out. They'll just leave and go to the next chiropractor in the list. And can they easily contact you? Is your phone number visible and tappable at the top and throughout the site? 61% of folks say messaging is the easiest, most convenient way to contact a business. So you're giving them the opportunity to engage via chat. So it's easy to send you a message from any part of the website. Can patients book appointments directly from the website? Not request an appointment by submitting a form, but truly secure an open time slot. By the way, web forms is where leads go to die. Too many of them go unanswered or take a long time to follow up. People can't trust that a form is going to get a response. So even if they do submit a request, if they're just looking for a chiropractor, they'll most likely just go back to Google, click on the next one until their mission of finding someone who can help them and scheduling an appointment with them is complete. So are you leveraging marketing automation and text messaging to maximize your appointment conversion rates? All of these factors combined can easily take a 10% conversion rate and turn it into a 70% conversion rate of website visitors into leads. Imagine if you could get 7 times as many new patients from your website. How much faster would you hit your 2025 goals? Take a moment to pull up your website and look at it with the perspective I just shared. Is it built to convert? Is it missing any of those components that could get you more patient leads? Jot down any of those items you want your website team to tackle for you, or if there's too many, this could be an opportune time to overhaul your website. By the way, we can help with that if you want. So going back to our digital dominance wheel, you also want to make sure your practice shows in the Google Map 3-pack when a person searches for a chiropractor. So if you've looked up any type of service online, you've probably seen results similar to this, with the pay-per-click ads at the top, and that could be 1 or 2 offices. The Joint often runs paid ads, which is why they get so many new patients. These PPC or pay-per-click ads, they get about 14% of the clicks for local search intent like this. But the maps section, that gets 68% of the clicks. And that means only 18% bother to scroll down past what's visible. And I'd wager that only happens when the results aren't favorable, like the listing doesn't include their website, or they're closed, or have no or few reviews, or a bad rating. So another thing to consider is that when a person searches from a computer instead of their phone, many times they just dial one of the numbers listed here, which means that Google doesn't track that activity. And the 3 chiropractors in the maps results actually get even more than 68% of the people they're searching to call them. So if you want more new patients calling you, then you definitely want to appear more often in the top 3 maps listings. But get this, what most chiropractors and business owners in general don't know is that where a person searches from affects the ranking of the results. Yes, it makes sense that searching from Los Angeles is going to give you local results instead of a provider in Dallas, Texas, but it's much more fine-tuned than that. A business isn't going to rank in the same spot from everywhere in town, and that's called the pizza effect, because Google treats all businesses like it would if you were searching for a pizza place. In that case, you mainly care that A, they serve pizza, B, they're nearby, and C, are they any good? And Google's going to show results based on those 3 factors. And one of those is how close the business is to where you search from. So tools like you see here can tell you what position you have from different parts of your city. Example on the screen shows results every half mile away. So you search for a chiropractor from your parking lot, you see yourself in the number 1 or 2 spot, and you think, hey, I'm doing all right. But try driving a mile or two away and see where you show up then. It may not be so good. Like here, we see an office is number 2 right by their office, but only a half mile away, they're number 6. And if you're not in the number 1 or 2 or 3 spot, then it really doesn't matter because you're not getting the click or the call. The thing to know is that there are things you can do that improve your ranking in those areas of town that don't include actually moving. So the 3 factors are proximity, authority, and relevance. So things like your citations, your Google description, your reviews on Google, and more can move you into the top 3 spots from just about anywhere in your city. And once you do that, you'll get a good portion of the people searching Google for a chiropractor to call you or come to your website, which better be built to convert those people into leads and appointments. The next major place you want to have a solid presence and can drive huge growth in your practice is social media. People spend a crazy amount of time on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and you want to have a presence where people are spending their time online. Facebook is still where a huge majority of people spend their time on social media. So that's where you want to make sure you're being seen. I don't mean posting funny memes to your page or asking people if they've had their spine checked lately. Those are not compelling messages that get people to want to see if you can help them. Most docs think simply posting to your social media is how you get patients from there, but in fact, most patients aren't going to see your Facebook posts. Even people that follow your page, only about 6% will even get shown your content. So for businesses, running paid ads on Facebook is going to extend your reach more than anything else you can do. In fact, if your website needs work, and you aren't showing up in Google Maps, then investing your marketing dollars into Facebook ads is going to produce a faster ROI and grow your practice much more than anything else. I'd still do those other things, but think of Facebook as patients today, improving website conversion as patients tomorrow, and getting to the top of Google as patients down the road. And when you consider that Facebook allows you to pinpoint who you show your ad to, it's the only place you can ensure you're putting the right message in front of the right person. On Facebook, you can offer pregnant women the chance to benefit from the Webster technique. Offer regenerative medicine to people experiencing arthritis, and put a new patient chiropractic offer in front of people who can prioritize their health, even when there are cheaper and easier alternatives available. Facebook is the only place you can do that. And you can generate patients without even having a website at all. Despite how you may feel about Facebook, the platform, or the company, if you're not taking advantage of advertising to the right people in your community, you are seriously missing out on a lot of patients who are going elsewhere, or in many cases, don't even know that chiropractic could help them. If you want to elevate the health of your community, then you need to be advertising on Facebook. Now, retargeting ads go by many different names: remarketing, boomerang ads. I call them stalker ads because that jacket you looked at on Amazon keeps following you around the internet. Honestly, everyone should be running retargeting ads. Think about it. If your website is crushing it and converting an unheard of 50% of its visitors, that still means that half the people that came to your website to solve a problem went away without a resolution. Those are some prime suspects to put your message in front of, and most websites don't even convert 5% of their visitors. If you put an ad in front of all of your website visitors that did not convert, you will get a percentage of them to take action. If you craft a decent message and offer with the right call to action, that will increase the response rate. So these are what you call low-hanging fruit. There's a reason that jacket follows you around the internet, because it's far more likely you'll click on that jacket and buy it than someone who never went to that product page in the first place. So through different ad networks, you can show retargeting ads. It's not just Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, but on a majority of the websites people visit, they use ad networks like AdRoll and Taboola. So pay attention to the retargeting ads you see as you visit different websites from now on, and know that you can do the same thing without having to run $1 million ad budget. And then reviews and reputation management are important too. Obviously, you want to have a good rating and reviews, but the quantity and recency have an effect both on the person considering you, but also on your Google ranking. Not to mention, when you search for a specific business, such as your practice, Not only will a person see your Google listing, but oftentimes directories like ZocDoc and Yelp and RateMDs and even Facebook show up in the search results. So too many docs focus solely on Google reviews and ignore those others. And then if you don't have many reviews on a specific platform, all it takes is one bad review to tank your overall ranking in that search result and make someone think twice about getting care from you, regardless of whether it was even legit or not. So you want to make sure you have campaigns in place that will continually get people to leave reviews and on those various websites and directories. And pay-per-click advertising has been around for a long time. Almost everyone knows those are the top results on Google and Bing. 14% of the people do click on them, so you will reach more people. But what I've found is for chiropractors, it's a lower ROI, so I'd put that at the end of the list after you've put all the other media strategies in place. All right, now that I've covered the different places for your message, I want to switch gears and talk about the two components that need to be embedded throughout all of your marketing. The first is marketing automation. Here's the problem that solves. 50 to 60% of your inbound leads leave unconverted. 90% of submitted website forms fail to convert into actual visits. And that's because leads that are not followed up with within 10 minutes go cold. The average customer must be followed up with 5 to 7 times if you don't respond immediately. And today's consumer prefers to interact via text message and chat versus phone call or email. And the solution to that problem is this: integrate marketing automation in your processes and touchpoints. It's possible to automatically follow up with web forms and booked appointments and other requests without you or your staff lifting a finger. Set that up to occur within just a couple minutes of the prospective patient doing anything. You can also use Facebook Messenger as your website chat widget, and now you can integrate AI to answer different questions and book appointments automatically. Messaging and texting are the way most people want to engage, and the key here is follow-up. There's a saying, the fortune is in the follow-up. Our clients see this all the time, where a person responds to a fourth or a fifth text message, finally booking their appointment and actually thanking the client for following up. And the beauty of it is that it's all automated. The office doesn't have to lift a finger once this is in place. In the end, if you're converting more of those leads into appointments and patients, that makes every lead you generate even more valuable to you. So even if you've already implemented every marketing piece I've covered, but if you don't have marketing automation in place, then you are missing out. I've seen conversion increases of 30% or more just from this type of automated follow-up. You definitely want to prioritize integrating this type of automation into your marketing. And if you want to get help with this going for your practice, scan the QR code to learn more. And you want to have a smart content strategy. I'd say I saved the best for last, but honestly, each piece of the digital dominance method go hand in hand. It's like compounding interest, where every deposit increases the results you see down the line. Similar to marketing automation, you want to be thinking about your content strategy and ultimately your marketing message throughout all of your media. And nowadays, content really is king. The research shows that 70% of customers prefer getting to know a company via articles rather than ads. And 61% of consumers feel better about a company that delivers custom content, and they're more likely to buy from them. And leading with content has been shown to increase website leads by 126%. That's more important for chiropractic than many other industries. If people knew what you know, they'd beat a path to your door. Most folks think chiropractic is just for neck and back pain. Content is your chance to make your community aware of all the ways you can improve their health. By publishing articles, podcasts, short videos, and distributing them across the internet on your website and Facebook and YouTube and Google Business, you'll position yourself as the local health authority. You'll generate goodwill, and you'll build up the know, like, and trust factors that lead a person to want to see you. And Google will even reward you by assigning your website and listing with more authority, which is one of the 3 factors in your Google business ranking. Oh, I even created a free editorial calendar for you so you have no excuse to not start publishing content immediately. I'll share the link to that in just a moment. Oh, we covered a lot today. I went over your most critical media, a well-converting website, your Google business listing, and your Facebook presence. I showed the impact of having marketing automation integrated into all of your marketing and how to craft the right message for the right market. So take a moment and jot down what conversion elements you don't have and you want to implement on your website. Okay, we talked about setting a clear goal and target for 2025, clarity around your market, message, and media. We went over how to make sure your website's optimized for conversion, and we've covered how to maximize your reach. Next on the agenda is the key trends in 2025. The key trends you want to solve for in 2025 are, of course, reaching people who need and want your care without doing in person events. That means showing up where people are right now, and that's primarily Facebook and Instagram. So you want to have a strong Facebook presence with your content strategy and ads. People don't really want to pick up the phone, so making it easy to reach you by utilizing text messaging and chat on your website and marketing automation. And you want to get all your marketing pieces in place because it's where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Each one you implement compounds the results from everything else you're doing. The last piece here is to build your 2025 marketing plan. So, what's your plan for 2025? What strategies are missing or do you need to optimize to get more results from your marketing? As you unpack everything I've covered today, be sure to check out our case study of Heskett Family Chiropractic, where I go in depth on their results and the impact on their practice. Go to growyourchiropractic.com/HFC case study. That's HFC as in Heskett Family Chiropractic. And jot down what are your top 3 online marketing initiatives that you need to implement to hit your 2025 goal. If the information I've given you has prompted you to consider how to get more new patients in your community, then there are really 2 ways you can apply the insights and tips I went over today. That's the hard way, which is also slow and takes a long time. It takes a lot of testing to figure out exactly what works and doesn't. And some give up before they discover all the pieces that work to get new patients. And this ends up wasting time and money that could have been spent actually pulling in new patients. And you might actually get some people in your office so you can help them. Or you can get yourself a fast pass, which is much easier and it skips the long line or path to success. And this starts by scheduling a practice accelerator session with me, where you tell us about your practice and what you're wanting to achieve. Then implement our M3A system, proven to get new patients for you. And you'll maximize the flow of new patients coming into your office. So if you like the easier, faster route that produces better results faster, scan the QR code and set up a time to talk with me. So to recap, here's what we covered today. Set goals for 2025. Identify how many leads you need to hit your goal targets. The 3 fundamentals of marketing success: market, message, media. How to optimize your website for conversion in 2025 and beyond. The big picture of all the online marketing channels you should be tapping into to maximize your patient flow online. The latest trends that you need to focus on in 2025. We developed a custom action plan based on where you are now and what you need to do right away. And you learned how to get FastPass and use a proven system. So if you want to skip right to the part where you bring in new patients without spending a lot of time trying to figure out what works and maybe never do before giving up, then schedule a practice accelerator session and we can show you the best, fastest way for you to get more new patients. And even implement it for you if you want. Here are your rewards for sticking around till the end. So go to growyourchiropractic.com/reward to download our ultimate online marketing checklist for chiropractors, the chiropractic digital dominance method, and content calendar already mapped out for all 12 months of 2025 for you. And I open a few times on my calendar if you want me to personally review your website, social media, maybe Google business listing, and give you a personalized plan of how to get more patients from them. So jot down my number and text me or go to the URL on the screen or scan the QR code and schedule a time with me to go over all that with you. That's all I have for you today. I hope you got some actionable items out of today. And if you'd like to talk about having us handle any of your online marketing for you, we can do that. Just go to growyourchiropractic.com/schedule or scan the QR code and set up a time to talk with me personally. I hope you have a fantastic year and achieve your goals.